Hey everybody, this is the One Dynasty, and I'm going to make a second video here showing you guys a little bit more updated version of my icon pack template. Just going to walk you through it really quick. It's not going to be as long as the other one, I hope, but this one's going to be pretty simple, straightforward. Just the initial setup and just showing you how to build it because there still are some people that maybe can't use some common sense and might not have that great of a reading capability. So they actually mess up still on using the previous video and the current template. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is just do everything again, walk you through it really fast, exactly how a normal person would. But first, before we get into that, if you want, you can go ahead and subscribe to the XDA thread that I have. It's going to pretty much have all the links for everything you need, show you the updated changelog. It also has, other people helping you out and things like that. Where a good place where you could ask some questions and get your questions answered most of the time. I'm not too much on XDA anymore, so if you want to ask a question, you're better off asking over here in the community that I created. This community was created for you guys, so you guys can come on here. I can show you guys, what's updated, what's going on, and there's a great number of people that have been using my template so far, and a lot of them have figured out how to do a lot of customizing to it, and basically, they have a really good understanding of how to use it now. So, I recommend if you have an issue, if you have any questions, if you don't have a Google Plus account, make one at least just for this. And ask your questions in there. There's a great community in here. A lot of these people know all the answers, and a lot of them, might have, access to the information faster than me because, I have a regular life. So these people can get on here and they can answer it, without waiting for my answer. Another thing I would like to point out, I get countless emails about this template, and it's not that I just don't want to chat with you. The simple fact is I don't want to answer each individual questions in an email because if you think about it like this, you might have a question that somebody else might also have. And if I answer it in private, then the next person's going to ask me, and then I got to answer that one in private, and you could see the pattern there. So it's better off asking it in public somewhere, either in the community here or in the XDA thread here. I'll leave both links below the description here, so you have access to both of those as well. So again, don't email me if you have any issues with this template or any questions or concerns or anything. Ask in the community and somebody will answer. And you don't need to tag me. I am subscribed to this community here, and I'm also subscribed here. So if somebody does post something, if you do post a new topic or question or anything like that, most likely if I don't get to it right away, I'm already subscribed to it, so I'll get an email alert, and I'll also get the alert once I log in to the Gmail or to the Google Plus here. Sorry. One other thing before I get into the template, make sure that you are posting in the proper category here. So if you have a question, please post it in the questions section of the community. Updates is really just for me to let you guys know what's going on with the template, if there are any updates, so you guys could check back there. You can see all of my posts in here on what's updated and what's coming soon if it's not there already. Suggestions is where if you have any suggestions, you could post in there. Bug fixes or bug/fixes. These are pretty much any issues that some people have found that we tried to squash right away. And share your themes. This is a community, so I want you guys to prosper, not just from using my template, but to, also get the word out there for, using, not just using my template, but to get your own work out there. So if you have a theme and you use my template, go ahead and post it in your share your themes. And if you're in the community and you see this post, feel free to share, everyone's post that you see. It helps everyone out by, just sharing each other's posts. So with that, let's go ahead and get into it. First, what you want to do is download the source. So you go here, and you could either clone in desktop if you have the the GitHub program installed, or just download the zip. I have the program installed, but I'm just going to download the zip as if I was one of you guys. So I downloaded it there. The next one you're going to want to download is Action Bar Sherlock. So just type that in here in the top and make sure that you select all repositories, because then that way it'll search all of GitHub and not just my template. And once you find that, we're going to go ahead and download Jake Wharton's Action Bar Sherlock. Now, this is, I'm going to give you guys a small little update here, and this may change depending on when you're viewing this video. But for right now, I'm using Action Bar Sherlock. I might update it in the future to use the Android Compat, Action Bar Compat library instead, so it makes things a little bit easier for everybody. But for right now, everything is using Jake Wharton's Action Bar Sherlock. So download that source as well. And once they're both downloaded, I think I accidentally put them in my downloads folder. Yes, I did. So I will move them really fast to the desktop. So now they're both on my desktop. So since I have both of these files, I'm going to want to go ahead and open them up. And once that one's open, just extract it here to the desktop. Extract that one to the desktop. And once these two are extracted, you can go ahead and delete the zip files or keep it if you want. It's just going to be taking up space if you leave it there, so I just delete it. So once those are there, open up Eclipse, and I'm going to show you guys how to set this up on Eclipse. I know I should have mentioned that earlier. I have no experience with Android Studio, and from the people that I know that are using it, they still say it's a little bit buggy. So I'm staying away from that for now until things, bugs are squashed and things are worked out a little bit better. And I'm just going to do it here on Eclipse for you guys. So what we're going to do is we're right here. And let's see. I kind of forgot how to do this because I'm missing my little quick buttons here. Oh, there they are. Okay. So what we're going to do is basically go here and we're going to hit Project. And then hit Android, and then hit Android project from existing code. Once you do that, select the directory, which is the desktop already there. I'm going to go ahead and import the library first. So there's all these different libraries you can import. The one that you really need is just the first one there. So uncheck all of these boxes. And you can copy into Workspace if you want to have like a backup of it, but all in the same directory. But since my directory is my desktop, I'm not going to go ahead and do that. So once you do that, hit Finish, and now the library is there. Okay. So if you look at the properties for the library, it's going to show you that this is a library. Okay. What I like to do is just update this really quick to Android 4.3. And then go ahead and hit OK. Now that's all updated there. I also like to update the support library. So just do this really quick. I make sure that everything is always updated on my own end. So I suggest doing the same thing. So once that is updated, give it a couple seconds. Perfect. All right. So another thing I do really quick before I do anything else is I refactor and I rename this into ABS underscore. I think this template, or I think this version was 4.0, 4.4.0. Okay. So 4.4.0 is what I'll have it as. And I always just like to label this last part just as, the current version of the Action Bar Sherlock that I'm using from GitHub. You don't have to do that. You could just leave it as ABS, and that's fine. I just do this for my own knowledge of this. And once that's renamed, then I will go ahead and follow the same step. Go to the new, import from existing code. And then the next one is the Icon Pack Template Master. So open that, and it's going to import that. Again, I don't have to copy it since I'm in the same directory already. Hit finish. Now it's going to import. It's also going to import what appears to be a lot of errors. And the reason for that is because you're not using my computer, and it's not set up exactly the same, because your directory for your libraries are going to be in a different place than mine. So really quick, before anything, I'll update the support library as well. And while this is doing that, I hope you guys appreciate the amount of time, effort, and work that has gone into a project like this. A lot of time has gone into it as far as taking myself away from my own projects to make sure that this library, or not this library, but this template was actually usable by multiple people, by whoever wanted to use it. It might not be the best for absolute beginners, but that also depends on your confidence level. If you feel confident enough that you can go ahead and just read a little bit, then this template's for you. Okay, so as you can see, it's a different directory because it's referencing from the different projects. So go ahead and remove that one and hit add, and we're going to add in the new library. And now it's a little green check. Hit OK. And once you do that, voila, it just rebuilt. One other thing, if you don't have it, I always have this check, this build automatically checked. And the reason for that is because anytime I make any changes to anything, it's going to automatically rebuild my project and let me know immediately if I have any errors. If you don't have this checked, then you might run into some errors and into some issues. So that's pretty much setting up the template. I know there's a few things, when it comes to editing the template and making it your own. I'm not going to get too deep into it, but again, I'll just recap on a few things. So what I will do normally is I'll open up the Android manifest first, and it's the first thing you're probably going to want to do. You could adjust the version codes if you want, read all the comments and everything like that. The most important change that we're going to make really fast here is the package name. So the package name can be whatever you want. Some people put com, if they have a website, they'll put com, they'll basically put it backwards. So I'll do something like that if I had a website. So, but this package name is extremely important for the initial setup of your project. There's one other section on here that you're going to have to manually change. And you're going to basically scroll all the way down to the bottom. I'll just make these a little wider here. And that's this one, this line right over here. And I'm not sure why I'm not showing lines. Okay, so I forgot how to add the line number because mine's already set up on my other workspace. So, but anyways, this line right here, you're going to want to, there we go. So line 155, you're going to want to change this line manually yourself. And this is something that I've noticed a couple people doing and having issues with as well. If you're copying, once you already have your template set up, to the way you like it, and let's say you want to make another icon pack and you want to copy over your existing project to make it exactly the same type of layout as the one that you first made, this line is always going to have to be manually changed. Don't ask me why. I have no clue why it doesn't automatically, rename when you refactor the project, but it's just what it is. So after that, you can go ahead and save. It's going to tell you some stuff has changed, so go ahead and hit yes. And now looks like we have a bunch of errors. Don't panic. It's all normal. It's all going to happen. What we have to do here is right over here, you're going to also refactor this package name. Refactor rename, and then just put the exact same name, package name that you put there. Once you do that, it's going to go throughout the entire project, find everything that's the same. It's going to rename everything. The project is going to rebuild, and voila, all your errors are gone. A couple other things in here that you might want to change. Let me see. I'm just going to run through a few of these files really quick just in case I miss anything. Nothing in there. Nothing, I think maybe in here. Nope, nothing in there. So pretty much that one is all good. Nothing in those. Nothing in that one. So nothing in the adapters has to be changed, really. Unless you want to read through the comments and see what's in there, then you can go ahead and change those however you feel fit, however you see fit. Okay, so nothing on that one. I think on the launcher fragment, there's going to have to be a few changes here. Let me just point them out for you. Okay, so the first one is going to be around here. Line 104, just go ahead and copy your package name and paste it in that same spot there. Just make sure I didn't miss any. Okay, so once that one's changed, you're going to also want to change line 152. Change that one. And I believe that is it for this particular one. And the reason that we have to change these is because these are the specific intents to launch and apply the theme for those specific launchers. So this one works for Nova. The other one over here works for, oh, sorry, I missed another one for ADW. So there you go, line 129 as well. You got to change that one. So this one's for ADW. The other one is right over here. For Action Launcher. So if you don't change those, when the user goes to press the apply button, that's going to force close the application. So you don't want to have those issues. So make sure you change those before you start digging into the actual application and editing it, everything. Make sure there's nothing in here that I have to change. Again, you're just going to have to read through the comments. I'm just going to breeze through specifically what needs to be changed so you're not going to have any issues when you're running this project for yourself. And okay, we're not changing anything in there as well. And another thing I recommend is before you make any major edits, first make these changes. Make these changes to the specific package names and everything. Get those correct first. And once those are 100% changed and working fine, then run the project. Make sure it builds. Make sure it's going to run without errors, without issues. And then once that's done, then you could start to make your own personal edits to it and make sure that just to make sure we have at least a working base for you. Because once you start making edits, it's kind of hard to remember which edits you made and what was what. And, I get a lot of questions about that as well. Just because people start making changes and edits to the template before they do some of these basic things. And they always end up messing themselves up in the end. So it's easier to just make your template or make the changes to your template first, all the package names, everything that you need to change, and make sure that the project runs. So pretty much I made all those changes to the source files. Again, the next thing you're probably going to want to do is go to values. From the last template to this one, I changed a few things. I split up some of the strings. So there's different, different sections for the strings. This one right here is specifically for your changelog. So whenever you're updating your changelog, you're going to want to add in new changelogs information to here if you're going to keep that feature. Strings app, which is just basically different strings throughout the application itself. These are not really specific to the theme, so it's not something you're going to be seeing throughout the launcher or anything, but this is stuff that you're going to see inside the actual application itself. So you want to make some changes to that or just leave it the same. Strings dev, this is another one. This is basically your personal stuff. So I would recommend changing, obviously, the names to your name, and then also change the descriptions and things like that. And then you want to change strings. You want to change some of the names here. I tried to, make them stand out a little bit by putting them in all caps, but it's still sometimes kind of hard to remember to edit that stuff. So just change these things like that you see. This line right here can actually be deleted because it's a duplicate. So ignore that line. You could delete it if you want. So again, just make the changes that you see fit. It's pretty common sense. Just read the comments, read the comments, read the comments. Make the changes that you see that you need to be made. One other thing, styles, ABS themes. I would not recommend opening up these files. If you do, by some chance, open it up and make some edits to this. These files are a little weird. I'm not sure why, but if you make a change to it and then you save it, it's going to throw you a bunch of errors. The reason it throws you a bunch of errors is going to basically tell you that your project minimum SDK is not set to the minimum SDK that it needs to be set to. So for example, this is supposed to be set to API 11 or greater, which is basically Honeycomb or higher. So if you get these errors like this, it's a really simple fix. All you have to do is open up your manifest, go down to the minimum SDK or min SDK version, change it to 11 really fast, save it, let your project rebuild. Once it rebuilds, it's going to erase all of those errors. And then you just go back here, edit it back to 10 if you want to leave it as 10. And even when it rebuilds, it's still not going to pop up those errors again. So if you run into that issue, simple fix, that's how you do it. But the easiest way to avoid it is just don't open up the styles and don't make any edits to it. A few things really fast in the manifest that I added. This is one thing that I added kind of by request and just by personal preference. The style by default is set to app theme, and this is basically going to give you a light version. If you want to have your app showing the dark version, simply change it from app theme to app theme _ dark, just like that. And once you changed it to app theme _ dark, it's going to basically give you the dark version of the theme. It will not change things, drawable images that are like, the action bar file, the action bar color and things like that. I didn't want to go ahead and add, those differences into the template itself, into the drawable folders, because, those are files that most people are either going to edit themselves or just leave it the way they are. So I didn't want to add extra things that, somebody was just going to edit anyways, to make the basically to limit the size of the overall template size. So that's pretty much all the changes that you really need to make. One other thing in here, in the assets folder, all of these fonts, I provided all the default Android fonts for you. The default font, which is theme font, that's what I basically have the app running. And that's the theme font that actually applies when you apply your theme to a launcher like Apex or something like that. But theme font is actually Roboto Light. So it's actually the same exact font as this. I just copied and pasted and renamed it to theme font, so that could be there. But all these fonts, they actually take up some space, about 3 megs. So once you find the fonts that you're actually going to use in your icon in your pack, just go ahead and delete the rest. You're not going to really need them. You can copy and paste them to your own folder if you want to have the most updated one. These are actually all updated to the latest 4.3 fonts. So if you want to have those and you didn't have those, there you go. They're all there for you. Some of them are actually pretty similar to each other, like thin and light. They're very similar, but they're not exactly the same. So just notice those little differences, and like I said, just delete those files if you're not going to use any of them. And it helps slim down the icon pack, your own icon pack, down by about 3 megabytes. So that's pretty much that. So now we got everything there. what we're going to go ahead and do is I'll just run this one really quick in my emulator. So let me launch the emulator really quick just to show you that everything is working and functioning. And I set it up exactly how you need to set it up initially. Now, again, I might update it in the future where a few things might change. For the most part, the template is essentially done. I mean, there might be a few little edits here and there. Like I said, I might remove the Action Bar Sherlock. And if I do, anything I've mentioned about Action Bar Sherlock, just ignore that, you know, in the setup of this video. Or I might even make a new video when that does happen, or if that does happen. Just have to find the time to go ahead and do that. So once the emulator is up, we're going to go ahead and open it up, and I will go ahead and, oh, one last thing before that. You could actually right-click this and change it, rename it to, you know, I don't know, icons or whatever it is that the name of your icons is named. That's usually what I do. I have it specifically the same name, you know, of my pack, so I know, you know, I have some organization going on. So basically, run as Android application, and what we're going to see here So I have my phone connected, which I don't know why it's reading like that, but I also have the emulator. So once the project is built, hit OK. And I'm kind of messing up my whole thing here. But anyways, you get the point. So it's building, and voila, we have it working. This pop-up here, I'll show you really fast as I end up this video how to remove it. If you don't like it there, it basically just checks it checks an app to see if an app is installed. So if you have your own application, or if you have another template that you have, or another icon pack that you want to maybe check in the beginning, and let the people know, like, hey, I have another icon pack, you could download it as well here. You know, you could do that as well, kind of link them together. It's another way to help promote your stuff. So it shows the changelog here. Just go ahead and hit the close. And as you can see, everything is working fine. I got the overflow menu here. Some people have complained that the overflow is not on by default, and they have forced the overflow menu to show up no matter what type of device. I'm not a huge fan of that. I like people to have, you know, more of an original Android stock feel. I know it creates more of a consistent look, depending, no matter what device that you're using. But I like to, like I said, I like to have it, you know, the normal stock feels without the extra, you know, buttons and things like that. So people have forced it. Check out the community. There's a few people who have talked about it and shown how to do it. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm probably not going to add it into the template either. But pretty much this is it. And if you want, you can see it in landscape to, you know, show that it's working as well. How do I get it to landscape? Oh, guess not. I am recording the video and it's preventing me from changing this to landscape. But pretty much that's it. You got the all the information there. You see it's working. Please, please, please follow the directions. It's really simple. If you have any issues, ask around, ask some people if you know, if you can get some help. You know, while you're working on it and whatever. So that's pretty much that. Again, I'll just leave you with a few things. Actually, I'm not leaving you with anything. But that's it. That's the video, and I hope you enjoy. Please feel free to subscribe. Feel free to share the template with the developer that you like to use their items or their themes for. In the future, there might be a few things added, but that's still too early to tell. But pretty much just feel free to ask your questions in here. Tons of people that are going to help. And that's pretty much the end of the video. So enjoy, and look forward to seeing what you guys make and post in my community here, so we could all share it, and we can all get everyone's great works of art out there. All right? Have a great day, guys.